Guys, we are having so much fun over at patreon.com/RussoCoonTWC. Now, what's a Patreon? Just for a couple bucks a month, you get all kinds of bonus content. The show you're about to listen to, our patrons got it 4 or 5 days early and almost an hour longer. Plus, Nitro watch-alongs of Vince Russo's run, Raw Attitude Era watch-alongs, plus more bonus content, and depending on the level, calls from Vince, shout-outs, by the way, we're going to start those again next week, as well as follows on Twitter, and so much more. Free merch. Just go over to patreon.com/RussoCoonTWC. Support our show, because as you know, we are stuck outside the wrestling bubble, so ain't no one going to do it but you. Thank you all. Patreon.com/RussoCoonTWC. If you're a patron of Truth with Consequences, you're not hearing this commercial or any other commercial. Welcome to Truth with Consequences. Vince Russo, we had our first show on Tuesday last week, and we got a lot of downloads, a lot of listeners, and a lot of feedback about our episode last week, and a lot of people like hearing about TNA. What did you think about the episode?
Nah, bro, I thought it was great because I don't think a lot of people realize the majority of my career was at TNA, bro. I was at TNA more than double the amount of time I was at the WWE. I mean, 10 years. A lot happened at TNA in 10 years. A lot of great talent came through, and it's very, very rarely spoken about.
So you were at TNA twice as long as you were with WCW and WWE combined.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. People don't think about that. What do you think surprised people the most last week? For me, it was the fact that Chris Harris was absolutely slated to become world champion, and you heard about it the last second. What's something else you think people really enjoyed about last week's TNA show?
Well, I hope they enjoyed the Piper stuff, but it's funny, man, because I don't know. Even after watching that, you get people that still come back and say it was a work. Which, like, that's the part of the business that just drives me crazy, bro. It was, we're talking 15 years ago. If it was a work, like 15 years after the fact, I'm going to tell you it was a work. You think I'd still be working it 15 years later for what? What's the gain?
You can't really blame them, dude, because there's a lot. You have friends, people who still work stuff 15 years later, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. Yeah.
And to assume that Vince Russo is the exception. And those of you who listened last week got the full unedited show just one time the whole year. That's all we're doing it. The rest of the time, you'll get the regular Westwood One show. But if you want that unedited show and you want it days early, get on our Patreon, patreon.com/RussoCoonTWC. And man, is our Patreon filling up, Vince. We're putting a lot of cool stuff up there. What do you think about what's going on over there right now?
Yeah, no, I think that's great, guys. And, I say it all the time. I mean, that is how you support the show. That is how you support Matt and myself. And we are very thankful for each and every one of you, bro. I know without you guys, there's not a show. Like I know that it's math, bro. It's really, really simple. So when you support the show, you become part of the show, and that's vital to Truth with Consequences.
Absolutely. And of course, something that takes up a lot of your time, a lot of your week, is the excellent programming over at russosbrand.com. There are 10 shows currently per week. And of course, you have Castrating the Marks, you have Goldilocks, you have That's Life. Yeah, we talked about 8 days a week last week. Tell me a little bit about Lions, Tigers, Bears, and Disco. That's a show you guys do every week.
Yeah, we take, it's like the week in review, everything that happened in sports, entertainment / wrestling and other things over the week, and Disco's on there, and we really break everything down of what happened the past week. But I got to tell you something, Matt, I swear to God, we did 2 episodes of Castrating the Marks last night, and they're just coming off of WrestleCade, Wrestle Kingdom, WrestleFest, whatever
Wrestle
it
Kingdom,
is.
Yes, sir.
Bro, I'm exhausted listening to those guys.
Well, you can hear more of that, and not without my voice on there arguing with it, on russosbrand.com. And we're going to save all this kind of silliness for the end of the show, And I don't even know what you're going to say, but I'm going to just ask you to think about a Russo's outrage of the week.
I already know what I'm going to say.
But let's talk about our outrage of the week. You have been maligned. You have been cursed at. You have been told to go to hell and to die because of wrestling angles you've written. And we're going to go over a lot of different ideas, some bad ideas in the history of wrestling. A lot of yours, maybe some aren't yours, but most have been attributed to you. First of all, let's deal with the generic criticism that you would have of this kind of thing, because I'd like to get this excuse, this reason out of the way. Explain why it's so easy to have a bad idea and why maybe it's kind of ridiculous to criticize Vince Russo for having a bad idea in the context of what your job was every week.
Well, yeah, bro. Here's the narrative, Matt. Let's squash the narrative from the get-go. Here's the narrative, bro. You know it. You know what they say over and over and over again. Russo likes to take credit for everything, but will never admit to a bad idea. Okay, let's look at that for a second. And again, guys, look at it logically. First of all, if I put it on television, I didn't think it was a bad idea. Okay, bro, I had a lot of bad ideas that never made it to television because it was a bad idea. So basically, I didn't think it was a bad idea if it made it to air. Number two, bro, because you think it's a bad idea doesn't mean it's a bad idea. Every idea is subjective, bro. Some people are going to like it. Some people aren't. So because you think an idea is a bad idea doesn't make it a bad idea. So a lot of people want me to agree with what they think is a bad idea. And I'm like, bro, I don't think it was a bad idea. I'm not going to agree with you. If I think it's a bad idea, I will say it.
That is a very good observation to make. And it's something that people might not realize. It's something I realized in starting to work with you, is that a lot of these things that we think are bad ideas, that maybe a lot of wrestling fans do, or is conventional wisdom. And I talked to Vince Russo. I go, dude, what the fuck was up with this? It's such a bad idea. You don't think it's a bad idea. Like, you literally still stand behind the things that you did, a lot of the things you did. And that's not surprising, because when you create something, you can see things, you can see components in that other people might not see. You can see what the ideal was. You can see the effects of it. And you're also attached to it a little bit too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And also, Matt, that's another thing about, he takes credit for all the good ideas and he won't talk. It's the complete opposite. I suggested this show. I love analyzing things that didn't work. I love that. I have no problem talking about any of that. Okay, bro, here's something. I thought this was going to happen, but this happened, and this is why, and maybe we could have. I love talking about that stuff.
It is something that people who aren't creative don't understand, that coming up with that many ideas, especially on demand, is a difficult thing. But with this week, we're not here to talk about those ideas that you supposedly are supposed to be taking credit for, or those good ideas that you always give other people credit. This week, we're talking about bad ideas. And there's a lot on our list here today. I've compiled a list of some of the things that you have been attributed to, and we're just going to talk about them. Are you ready?
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Hey, Vince, I don't know if you know this, but I am snowed in right now. And, I wish I had ordered Wise Company freeze-dried food. It's freeze-dried emergency food that can be stored for emergencies like this.
Tell you something, I bet you the people that just were victims of all those fires, bro. Situations like that, man, you've got to be prepared. And that's exactly what Wise freeze-dried foods are all about.
Well, the Wise Company takes an innovative approach in providing dependable, simple, and affordable freeze-dried food for emergency preparedness and outdoor use. And Wise Company meals are designed to protect your most valuable asset, your family.
Bro, what about job loss? What about job loss, bro? What about all of a sudden things get tight, bro, and you don't have the income for food to take care of your family that you once did? While you have that income, bro, you want to stock up with the Wise Company. Bro, the food never goes bad. It's free-dried. It's got a shelf life of 25 years. Bro, Matt, you could be eating out of the same bag of potato chips for 25 years, Mr. Coon.
Well, I'll tell you what, with me, it might not last 25 years, but I might want to because they use the finest ingredients and food preparation technology to ensure the optimal freshness and flavor. And every recipe is created by a team of chefs and is unique to the Wise Company. Now, this week, your listeners at Truth with Consequences, our listeners, can get any Wise emergency or outdoor food product at an extra 25% off the lowest mark price at wisefoodstorage.com when entering.
Bro, just enter bro at checkout. It's easy. The shipping is free. They also, Matt, they have a 90-day, no questions asked, return policy. So there's absolutely no risk involved in taking the initiative to get yourself and your family more prepared today.
That's wisefoodstorage.com. Promo code BRO to get any Wise emergency or outdoor food product at an extra 25% off and free shipping. So with that in mind, first on our list is something I've always wanted to talk to you about, Vince. It's the beaver cleavage character. Of course, Headbanger Mosh involved in this atrocious angle, this atrocious gimmick where he's supposedly in love with his mother, and you guys lost faith on it so quickly that you bailed out.
Bro, you got to refresh my memory of how it was bailed out, because I literally don't remember. So please refresh my memory.
I believe what he did, Chaz came on screen during the last vignette you did with the mother, said, "This is stupid. I can't do this. I'm not doing this anymore." And he did that on camera. It wasn't a shoot. It was planned as a way to...
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. But anyway. Okay, bro, here's the situation. I believe Thrasher was gone at this point, Matt.
Thrasher was injured, yes.
Okay, he was injured, so we had to find something for Mosh, who I loved. Great talent. The both of them were great talents. They were great to work with. Bro, those guys would be top guys today. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, the only reason they weren't top guys was because of the depth of the roster. So they were a great team. They had a great look. They were great individuals. Thrasher got hurt. I had to find something for Mosh. And again, bro, we're talking about an era where we were pushing the envelope, pushing the envelope, pushing the envelope, pushing the envelope. And bro, quite frankly, it was insinuated that, you know, this was a kid and this was my mom. But I believe where we were going with it was it really wasn't. But the fact of the matter is, I don't, again, bro, there were, you know, it was the Goldust thing. You know, you start doing something like this, everybody's on board. Then all of a sudden one person feels uncomfortable with it. And that one person, of course, says, well, it's going to affect our sponsors and A, B, C, and D and yada, yada, yada. And the next thing you know, creatively, you have to find a way to get out of it. This was very similar to the Goldust, where, you know, everybody's on board, then everybody gets cold feet, and then you got to figure out how to back out of it, making some kind of sense. But you know, to me, again, bro, it was, you know, edgy. It was pushing the envelope. It was something that, you know, people could talk about around the water cooler. Wrestling fans are going to hate it. I know wrestling fans are going to hate it. That's not who I was writing for, bro.
But in this particular case, where you have, of course, maybe the payoff is, hey, this mom that he's into isn't really his mom, and but obviously playing it as his mom, and all the sexual innuendos, like saying his cereal was dry and some of his mother's milk. Like, I think you can say this was a mistake. Can you say this was a mistake? This was too far.
No, bro, I can't say it, Matt. But listen to me. Here's why I can't say it was a mistake.
All right.
I was not given the freedom to see it through. So how could I sit here and say something was a mistake when we had to bail out of it because of sponsors? If I would have been able to see the vision through and it didn't work, I would say, yes, that was a mistake. I can't say it, bro, because I had to pull the plug on the thing before it even started.
Is there any possible ending to this? Like, let's say you saw it through. What possibly could have made this good? Like if it turned out he's not his mom, and he's just role playing. He wants to have sex with his mother. Like, even this one, you think you could have written your way out of?
Yes. So I can't say it was a mistake because I wasn't able to see it through to the end. If I was able to see it through to the end, I would have said, yes, it was a mistake. And I'm sure we're going to cover things today that I was able to see through the end. And I could say, yeah, that was a mistake. I was not able to see this thing through the end. So how would I know if it would have been a mistake or not?
Well, I hope everybody's hearing. This is what I deal with on a daily basis, everybody. But I just, that's cool, man. I'm glad you like your ideas. I think it's awesome that you like your ideas. So let's move on. I'm not laughing. I guess I am.
Yeah, you are, bro. You're laughing at me, bro. But that's okay, Matt. That's fine. That's cool.
Goldberg turning heel.
Yeah.
Dude, like, I understand the thinking of where can you go after he's undefeated. I understand that. But were you unaware at the time that certain people you just could not turn heel?
Yeah, I guess I should have been more in tune with that because that's the thing, bro. I go to WCW. The guy had a streak of 3,000 wins in a row, and it's exactly what you said, Matt. Where do you go? There's no place to go, bro. There absolutely is no place to go but to turn the guy heel. The problem was, and this was my mistake, bro. My mistake. All right, you want me to admit to a mistake, wise guy? I'm admitted to a mistake, okay? He didn't want to do it. And rule number one is when a talent doesn't want to do something, bro, don't do it because they're going to make sure it fails. Their heart isn't into it. Their soul isn't into it. And it's going to fall flat. And I know that. I know that's the number one rule. But we went through with it anyway, and that's exactly what happened. So that's on me, bro. That's 1,000% on me. He didn't want to do it. He made sure it didn't get over. I'm not putting the heat on Bill because I knew that. Like, I knew all that. I knew exactly what was going to happen, and I did it anyway. That's on me, bro. That's 100% responsibility on me. And I remember having a conversation with him, Matt, and I'm like, bro, he just played like an evil Santa Claus, I think, or something. And I'm like, Bill, you play freaking heels in movies. I explain this to me. This is a television show. I don't understand it. And this is what he said to me. In movies, I'm not playing Bill Goldberg. Okay, here on WCW, I'm Bill Goldberg. Kids, I'm visiting kids in the hospital, and I'm Goldberg. It's the same guy. No, bro, I didn't understand that, bro. I didn't get that because this is a television show. I'm Vince Russo on this television show, but this isn't how I really act in real life. So I shouldn't have done it because I knew he was never going to make it work. And that's on me, bro. That's rule number one in wrestling.
But let's take it back a little bit further than that. Say Bill Goldberg was all in with Vince Russo. Like if he said, whatever you decide, Vince, I'm going to go 100% with, then you stand by the decision to turn Goldberg heel at that time in his career?
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it, bro. You know, again, when a guy's fighting you, bro, that's in the back of your mind with everything you're writing. Is he going to do this? Is he going to do that? Is he going to say this? And is he going to say that? That's what's always in your mind. You're not writing freely. You're not writing, you know, what you would write. If I was writing a screenplay and I don't even know who my actors are and I'm just writing freely and then I'm going to, you know, I'm going to book the actors in it. But no, bro, you're writing it for him. So knowing he doesn't want to do it, now you're not writing what you would normally write because, okay, he's going to take objection to this. He's not going to want to do this. He's not going to want to do that. And it affects the way you write. If he was on board and I had the freedom to write exactly what I wanted to write, absolutely I would have done it.
Another idea that a lot of people think is one of the worst ideas in WCW history was G.I. Bro. G.I. Bro in WCW was Booker T changing his name to G.I. Bro. It's one of those things that people point to and say, how could Vince Russo do this? This makes Vince Russo a racist. Who comes up with the name G.I. Bro for a black guy? That kind of thing. Can you explain a little bit of the background behind this terrible, terrible idea?
Yeah, bro. The background behind the terrible, terrible idea is Booker came up to me and said, bro, on the indie scene, before I made it big, I played a character called G.I. Bro. And he got into the character. He explained the character. At the time, we were doing like the Misfits in action. And I was like, oh, bro, that sounds so creative. That sounds so entertaining. I said, bro, I freaking love it. I loved the idea when he told me about it.
So to be clear, G.I. Bro was something that he used in his early days.
Yes.
Before he even went to Global.
Yes.
And it was something he told you about.
Yeah. How would I have ever found out about that or even known about that if not Booker himself didn't tell me?
Well, it's all your wrestling research that you do.
Yes.
All your
exactly.
Okay, but who made Booker T at the time was definitely upper mid card and also young and going to the top of the rocket. Who made the decision to change his name? Like why was that? There's a difference between him saying it and then you going, okay, well, Booker, you're not Booker anymore.
But he didn't really change his name. That's not how it worked. He became a part of Misfits in Action. And once they were in that group, they all had gimmick names in that group. Hugh Morris became, what was he again?
Hugh G-Rection.
Hugh Direction. Yeah, they all had gimmick names in the group. So it's not that we changed Booker T's name. That was the gimmick name in the group.
But the idea was he wasn't going to be called Booker T anymore. It was going to be called G.I. Bro.
Not while he was doing that. While he was doing that, he was going to be referred to as G.I. Bro.
Don't you think it was a mistake to put him in that group and not have him be Booker T since he was just a few months away from becoming world champion?
Nope.
Well,
bro, how can I say that when I was entertained by G.I. Bro? Booker, his heart and soul was into it. He did it. It was entertaining as shit. I thought it was funny. I was entertained by that. If somebody else doesn't like the idea, okay, bro, good. You don't like the idea. That doesn't mean I have to not like it. And why would Booker pitch it to me if he didn't want to do it? Think about that.
So
why would he even bring that up to me if that wasn't on his mind to do?
So did he pitch it to you as in here's something we could do, or was it here's something I did?
Here's something I did.
Okay, so then I can just see it. Well, wait, I heard a story about you. Can I tell you a story I heard about you?
The same exact thing. Where do you think Dude Love came from? It was the same exact thing, same exact scenario. I knew Dude Love was jumping off of roofs when he was 16 years old, bro.
I heard a story that you were talking about a TV show with Terry Taylor, and you wanted to do a gimmick based on a TV show. And you guys are walking through catering, and there's an extra sitting there. And Terry Taylor points at somebody sitting there. He goes, he's from Jersey. He could do the Jersey Shore thing. And that was it. That's Robbie E. Like, that's how quickly those ideas come to you.
Well,
right?
First of all, nobody had to tell me anything. All I had to do was look at Robbie E once. I looked at him. And I knew it immediately. But speaking of Terry, can I tell you my greatest freaking tag team that never saw fruition? Okay, bro?
Go for it.
Bro, when TNA started and it was supposed to be this R-rated company, Jeff Jarrett asked me and Disco to come up with a list of outrageous characters. That's what it was supposed to be.
That was your assignment?
Huh?
That was your assignment?
That was our assignment, and we
Fantastic.
did. We did. Bro, here's a tag team that never made it to fruition that would have been freaking awesome. I'm going to give you 2 ideas right here, okay?
All right.
People, feel free to use these on the indie scene. Or Vince, feel free to use them on their show. They're a lot better than the shit you got going on right now. The tag team of Cock and Balls. Terry Taylor and Balls Mahoney. And unfortunately, bro, that never saw it to fruition, but that would have been huge.
That's amazing. If that happened, Cock and Balls.
Cock and Balls.
Did you guys had Balls Mahoney on contract?
No, this is just me and Glenn. Like before we even saw our first pay-per-view, bro, we came up with a list of about 20 freaking characters. And you know, those are a couple of my favorites.
Do you ever like come up with an idea and see it come to fruition and go, you know what? And you say to yourself, that's fucking stupid. Does that ever happen?
See, bro, you got to understand, like, being a writer. You don't think your ideas are stupid. Like, you wouldn't have come up with it if it was stupid. Bro, if I'm thinking of stupid in my head, it's never leaving my head. If I think it's stupid in my mind, it's not leaving my head. Once it leaves my head, I don't think it's stupid.
So you don't reflect on the ideas after you've created them and said, maybe I should revise this, or this is not my best idea, or blah, blah, blah?
No, I mean, I always do that, bro. I mean, I'm always revising ideas and revising characters and storylines as I go along. I mean, I'm always doing that, bro.
Was the Johnsons yours? I assume it was.
Yes. Yeah. The Johnson. Well, yeah. Yeah.
That would be Richard and Rod Johnson.
Yeah, there was a little bit more to it than that, though, bro. There was a little bit more to it than that. But yeah, the Johnsons, yes.
Okay, so let's go down this list some more. We've already covered, of course, GI Bro, and we have covered Beaver Cleavage, and we covered Goldberg.
Bro, can we interject facts into this as we go along?
I'd love to.
By the time we got to the big main event that everybody was waiting for this past Monday of Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, no false count anywhere for the Intercontinental title. The college football game, by the way, is a blowout. It's not a close game, never was a close game. Nobody's watching it. By the time we get to the riveting main event of Rollins and Ambrose, we lost 600,000 fans. So let's make that a side note. Okay, bro? I guarantee you if 2 guys are coming out looking like 2 big dicks in flesh-colored bodysuits, I guarantee I ain't losing 600,000 fans. I guarantee you, bro. Guarantee you I'm not.
I don't think I agree. Like, I think people will tune in for a second, and then you'll lose more people the following week. I just think it's just too on the nose. Like, these guys are penises. Like, we have a tag team of penises.
Nope.
Penis.
I disagree with you because here's the effect you're getting. Oh, my God, I can't believe they're putting this on TV. It's like watching a really, really, really bad car. You're talking about wrestling fans, bro. And, of course, freaking Dave Meltzer, who's analyzing a dragon screw for 17 minutes. Of course, bro. I'm not talking about those people. They're watching this show anyway, bro. They're marks. Excuse me, they're marks, bro.
Fine.
Let me apologize beforehand.
No,
of
fine.
course they're going to hate that. Not the casual fans, bro.
You kind of have, okay, we'll get into this another time. Okay, so with so
what do we got to go say it? What? So what are you going to say? Oh, what other time? Get into it now. What? What, bro? What?
I just think you
have a clip yesterday of castrating the marks. Meltzer is he's exploding with man juice. Can I say that in a nice way?
No,
he's
you
exploding
can't.
in man juice, bro, because somebody was doing something, and at the very last second, he threw his knees up. Bro, are you out of your freaking mind? Like, bro, seriously? You're getting excited because a guy threw his knees up because somebody else was coming off the top and you didn't see that coming? So, bro, if we're talking about those people hating this shit, yes, bro, they're going to hate this shit.
I disagree that it's only those two things. I disagree that we have a Venn diagram where there's a circle where there's casual wrestling fans and there's a circle where there's Dave Meltzer. But you know how, like, it's said to be careful of what you say in front of Vince McMahon because he might do it. Like, if you have an idea and you spit out some stupid idea, he'll do it. And you're like, crap. I have the same worry about Josiah, who does shirtsoftruth.com for us, What Apparel. They do a great job. I just know he's making an Exploding with Man Juice shirt.
Yeah, well, right, because it'll sell, bro.
Okay, well, I don't know what the transition for that is. We have the most amazing t-shirts over at shirtsoftruth.com. Have you checked them out yet? Consider buying one today, including our most popular As Seen on Raw, Russo's Club, plus so many more awesome designs. Maybe you're a Matt Coon guy. Probably not. But maybe you want a Russo Coon 2020 shirt. So many more designs. Haziah over at whatforapparel.com is the most creative and up-and-coming t-shirt designer and producer in the business, and we were first. So make sure to check out shirtsoftruth.com, support the show, and grab yourself a Russo's Club shirt like we saw on Raw recently. shirtsoftruth.com. Speaking of Man Juice, Katie Vick. Katie Vick is something I have seen many times. Vince Russo, how could you do this terrible angle that had Triple H going in and having sex with a mannequin who was really representing a dead girl? What the hell?
Yeah, no, that one's pinned on me all the time. Unfortunately, for those who like to pin that one on me, I saw that on television just like everybody else did. So unfortunately, for those that want to pin that on me, the timelines don't match up because I wasn't working for the company.
You know what's funny, Vince, is some of these, besides, of course, Exploding in Man Juice, hashtag Exploding in Man Juice. You know what's funny, Vince, is a few of these that we're going to talk about are almost like WWF writing Vince Russo style after Russo leaves, right?
Yeah, trying to. Yes, absolutely. No doubt about it.
Okay, so let's talk about one of your better ideas. Judy Bagwell on a forklift. What in the hell? Judy Bagwell.
You know what nobody talks about? And I didn't even know this. I swear to God, Matt, I didn't even notice when we did Judy Bagwell on a forklift match. Before I even got to WCW, Judy Bagwell was actually one half of the tag team champions. Before I got to I didn't even know about that, bro. But why does nobody talk about that?
Because people pin it on you. So let's clarify that a little bit.
Right.
Judy Bagwell coming in as a character. You weren't watching, so you probably don't know. She came in as a character when Buff Bagwell did one of his really actually brilliant fake injury angles. They're really good. Like, it really was well done. And then Judy Bagwell came out and had a great appearance as his mother. And then they said, well, hell, let's just have her out every week. And then she'll be a tag team champ. So by the time you got in there, Judy Bagwell was already a commodity.
Yeah, already a commodity, already a tag team champ. I didn't even know that. Great, funny, great. Of course, bro. And again, with me, everything is visual. When you're channel surfing and you're going back and forth between WWE and WCW and you see a middle-aged woman attached to a forklift, I'm sorry, bro. Let's stop on this show for a few minutes and see what this is.
I love that your audience for wrestling are just anybody who's flipping channels.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely,
That's
man.
Nobody who's watching a show or wants to hear about a show. But if you have to be flipping channels and you see a middle-aged woman on a forklift, you're going to stay and you're going to become engaged because of that?
Yep, that's how the entire show should be. The entire show should be a spectacle, because if people are flipping around, they surely didn't hang around for Rollins and Ambrose. That sure as hell wasn't a spectacle.
But let me tell you, if you would have had the Johnsons in a tag team match against the Revival, holy shit.
Nah, because the Revival's so boring, people might have
Oh my
turned off.
God.
But if you would have had a match between the Johnsons and Buff and Judy Bagwell, oh my God, bro, ratings would have been through the roof.
Here's so let's talk about on the forklift. What is the idea of putting her on a forklift? What is that?
The visual.
And so what was the match?
And she was too heavy to go on a pole. A pole couldn't support her weight, so we had to use a forklift.
Do you remember how she was on the forklift? Like, did you guys rehearse it, or?
I did. I don't remember the specifics. I don't even remember what that looks like, Matt. I've never I did it, but I never watched it back since.
So seriously, you've talked about how you never wrote, for like certain bumps to happen or certain dangerous things to happen. This is something you wrote down on a piece of paper that could be dangerous, right? Putting Judy Bagwell on a forklift.
I mean, how could that be dangerous? I mean, I don't know how that could be dangerous. I would have to look at how we did it. I don't remember how we did it. I don't remember what it looked like. But somebody driving a forklift out and a person standing on the forklift, I don't think that's dangerous.
Forklifts can be dangerous. I'm just saying. Like, I had my hand almost chopped in half by one once, but you just have to have the right person working it, I suppose. Hey, let me ask you this. Was Buff Bagwell a mama's boy backstage?
Oh, yeah. It still is.
Can you give me an example?
Absolutely. It was a shoot, bro. That was the beauty of it. It was a shoot.
What was their relationship like backstage that makes you say that?
Just the way she babied him, bro. Like, she babied him. I mean, you're back there with these testosterone filled wrestlers, and she's treating him like, he's her 12-year-old son.
There's a lot of stories that, she's the one who shaves his body hair and things like this.
Yeah, I've heard that.
The fact that she, all of it, and that she called Jim Ross, which
I've heard that.
Buff Bagwell disputes to this very day. But let me ask you a question, and we've talked about it. You said maybe she did it, he didn't know about it. Do you believe that Judy Bagwell felt so engaged with her son's career that she would have no problem calling up a Jim Ross and saying he's not going to make these shows?
I'm not saying she did, but I'm saying she would have no problem doing that.
Do you think Buff Bagwell is the kind of guy who would say, "Mommy, I don't want to call Big Bad Jim Ross. Would you call him for me?"
No, I don't. No.
Yeah, I don't either. Best interview of all time, by the way. I told you that last week. So you own the Judy Bagwell on a forklift. Everything on a pole. Pinata on a pole. Viagra on a pole. Everything on a pole.
Well, see, whoa. Here's what I'm going to quote Matt Kuhn. Here's what you just said. Pinata on a pole. Viagra on a pole.
Right.
Everything on a pole.
This is a criticism.
Name two more things.
Two more things. You did all that shit.
You just said everything on a pole. I'm asking you to name two more things.
What's that monstrosity you guys did in TNA where you had like 7 boxes in the fucking air with like contracts and shit?
That might have been that might have actually been WCW.
You also did, but you did it in Feast or Famine. Is that what it's called? Is that you? Did you do that?
Oh, that you want to know something, bro? That was not my idea. And that was ripped off of Money in the Bank. That was ripped off from Money in the Bank. That was not my idea.
Champagne on a pole.
Okay.
Did not even Google. Just remember that, because I understand that they used a real champagne bottle, Vince. And that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but the following week, I just found this out. The following week, they used a fake one.
Did he say that?
No, because this is what everybody does. It's the freaking pole jokes, and you can't name 4 of them. You can't, bro. Again, let's go back to how many shows I freaking wrote, and we can't. No, don't Google them. Don't Google the pole matches. Okay, bro. Everybody, pole match. What, bro? There was pinata on a pole, and there was Viagra. The only reason we know about champagne is because that imbecile thought the bottle was real. That has never even been brought into the conversation in the last 20 years. So you just said everything on a pole.
Okay.
What, Dave? What's everything, Wade? Give me 5 pole matches in 10 years.
So you got me. You got me with that. Like, I did name, 4 that I could think of, but the fact is that this is something that people say.
What 4 did you name? What 4? You didn't name
the
4.
Feast or Famine counts.
No, but that's not on a pole match, and that's not my idea. I'm not owning that. That's not my idea.
But I guess your point is that there's not. It doesn't have teeth because those 2 are things people remember, and the fact of the matter is, there wasn't that many things on a pole.
Exactly, bro. People remember Viagra on a pole and Pinata on a pole.
So I could never be in a pole match. I would have to be in a forklift match.
No, absolutely not. No, Matt. You could be in a crane match. You could bring in a crane.
Viagra in a pole match. The storyline was that Shane Douglas stole Billy Kidman's girlfriend, and a hidden camera revealed that Shane Douglas could not perform in the bedroom. What the hell, Vince? What happened to professional wrestling? And
Classic.
I love it because you're sitting here. I'm going, this is bullshit.
I'm sitting here, bro. I'm sitting here saying, bro, they could say whatever they want. 600,000 people turned off Ambrose and Rollins. I could sit here and say nothing. I don't need to say anything. I'm doing this show to entertain you. That's why I'm doing this show. I don't need to say anything, bro. You're 2 great workers. The Burn It Down and the Architect and the Lunatic Fringe. 600,000 people went to freaking bed. I don't need to sit here and say anything. I'm doing this for you, Matt.
Well, thank you, because I am very entertained. We hope you are all entertained. And if you want the uncut version, you want the show early, and you want bonus footage, including Vince Russo and I going through the Piper shoot, frame by frame, almost like the Zapruder film, and talking about it. That must have been fun for you. But it wasn't that fun for you, right, when we did it on Patreon?
Nah, it was, yeah. Bro, here's what was really not fun for me, because I didn't realize it. And, just before we even formally met, he had his mind made up. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that till I heard his words. When he talked about that first meeting and I was showboating and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, man, bro, no matter what I did, I could have dropped to my knees and kissed your ass and it would not have mattered. It was, and I didn't know that, bro. So I'm glad I heard that. There was nothing I could have done. He had his mind made up about us before he even met us.
It's a fucking metaphor, dude, for you in the world of wrestling.
Yep.
That's you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So the way to handle it in life is the way you handled Piper. Is just well, this is a crazy person. There's nothing I can do about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I always treated him with respect. I went on his show. I gave him my point of view, and at that point, bro, believe what you want, man.
Speaking of cheap plugs, my hair was not on point today. Unlike some people, I don't have to cover my baldness because I don't have any. But you have not commented on my hat. Can you see my hat today?
I like your hair. You got the BWO thing going. And yeah, you do have a nice head of hair, Matt. I always put your hair over, bro.
Conrad asked me if it was if I dye my hair. He can't believe it's my real hair, but it is.
Yeah, no, you got a nice head of hair, bro.
But you got a friend who was in the BWO you're on an exercise program now? Is that what's going on?
I'm on my 2nd week, bro. So what I got 9 days in, bro. 9 days into Stevie Richards resistance bands, bro. It's like a 12-week program.
And I got this hat from a friend of mine for my son. This is my son's hat, and his name is Mr. Meanie, Mr. Blue Meanie.
Yep,
and,
great guy.
Oh, my God. He's the best, isn't he?
Yep, the best.
So make sure to check out, how can people get more info on Stevie's program, which is getting you in shape and can get them in shape as well?
Yeah, guys, go to, I don't know Stevie's address, but if you go to russosbrand.com, it's on the website. You'll be able to get all the information you need. I think it's Stevie Richards Fitness. Just look that up online. Stevie does some freaking amazing things, bro.
And I've talked to Stevie a little bit about myself, and I think I might start it as well. And I think that could be a fun little adventure. But but make sure to check it out because Stevie Richards is in amazing shape and it's set for people of all fitness capabilities. Let's talk about some other things, other bad ideas, so forth. Finger poke of doom. That wasn't you, right?
No, I get blamed for that all the time too. And that happened at the WCW when I was working at the WWE.
Have you ever seen the finger poke of doom?
I have not.
It's ironic that it's like literally the best bump of Kevin Nash's career. Like
really?
It's amazing. Like he does in theater, we call it hairography. You know, like when someone does something really cool with their hair and they do it back or they show their face. The hairography on the bump is amazing. Like he goes down like a ton of bricks. You have to check it out.
I will.
But you did something similar with WWE that's not talked about. People talk about finger poke of doom. Do you remember a similar situation taking place with Triple H and Shawn Michaels over the European title?
Yes. Yep.
That was, I mean, dude, we've seen that kind of thing a lot now, including, of course, the infamous Bash of the Beach 2000. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, that was the whole thing. They were trying to screw DX and they were trying to back them into a corner. And, you got to protect DX and you got to protect those characters. And at the end of the day, they outsmarted everybody. So, I mean, that's what it was. That was more for character than anything else.
And if we're being honest, like the finger poke of doom was like a shot for shot recreation of that, because what worked about that is Triple H and HBK sold it the whole time. Like, okay, we're going to find out who's better. All right, we're going to do it. Okay, we're going to, and then finally they get in the ring and they just make fools of everybody. I had no problem with that, but people have a problem with the finger poke of doom because it was the big title, the big gold belt, and also because they think Vince Russo was involved, but you definitely weren't.
No, I was not there. No.
Stern. So just because we like something doesn't mean it's a good idea in wrestling. You're a mark for Howard Stern, right?
Oh, but Matt, please don't use that word. I get very, very offended.
So of course you're not getting Howard Stern on Raw. You're not getting Robin Quivers on Raw. You're not getting Baba Booey on Raw. So you decided to go ahead and bring in the Whack Pack. Did you bring him into? You brought him into both, right? WWF and WCW.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. I think WCW was where Jeff hit Beetlejuice over the head with the guitar.
I believe also he was placed in a Steiner recliner.
Yeah, which I saw that the other day. Which and bro, he sold the hell out of that, bro.
Well, he thought it was real, Vince.
Bro, that was Jeff's biggest concern. I swear to God. He thought, because it was live, he thought Beetlejuice was going to no-sell the guitar shot. Jeff was he must have told him a million times. He sold that like a champ, bro.
And I remember someone tossing Beetlejuice to the side like a bag of oranges. I forget who it was, though.
Yeah.
Looking back in 2019 with Beetlejuice, we know now maybe a special needs, mentally challenged young man. You couldn't do that today, nor should you, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Stern still has him on the show,
but he's not like hitting him over the head with a Gibson,
Yeah, no, people would go bananas over that today, bro.
Like, do you think? I mean, Scott Steiner's known in the ring for I've seen him wrestle some of these big Japanese guys, right? And then, if they don't remember that they're going up for a suplex, he's going to remind them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's like, if he calls out a screwdriver and they say no, they're still getting a screwdriver,
Yeah.
Do you think, I mean, that must have been terrible for him to be Beetlejuice to be in that Steiner recliner.
Oh, yeah. No, I can imagine. No, absolutely. He probably didn't know what was going on.
So tell us about them in WWF. You called them. You loved being involved with the Stern Show. You wanted Hank the Angry Dwarf and all those other guys on the show, right?
Oh, yeah.
And how did that go? I mean, who did you call?
Tremendous.
How did you get a hold
for
of
me. Bro, listen. Bro, you got to understand. if I'm writing this show for the marks, none of this is happening. I'm not writing it for them. I don't care what they think about the show because I know their marks and I know, bro, literally, if you say this is a wrestling show and you put up a test pattern for 2 hours, they'll sit in front of the test pattern and not only will they watch it, they will critique it. So no matter, as long as wrestling is in the title, okay, bro, they're watching the show. So I don't give a shit what they say. This stuff is not for them.
Here's the problem is that you actually do, but like you believe that 1,000 points, like Meltzer.
No doubt about it. Dave Meltzer would critique a test pattern. No doubt about it, bro.
Meltzer
the colors, the shapes, the sounds. No doubt about it.
He would be like, notice how the third line came down further this time, and it kind of alluded to the time it did it before, and also is letting you know what's going to happen next time.
Yes, and look at the abs on the test pattern. Yes, no doubt in my mind. So the regular guy at home, the guy at the fraternity house, the 18 to 34-year-old crowd, they're looking at this and they're laughing just as hard as I am.
Okay, so there was
let me remind you, in case you've forgotten, 600,000 people turned off Rollins and Ambrose.
But both here's so you're dug into a corner in a way because people criticize you so much. And a thing that you go to a lot is like, well, it's better than this shit. Miss Jericho on Twitter said the same thing, like to me, like, how could people criticize Nitro 20 years ago when Raw's so bad? Both can be bad. Both things can exist at the same time, Vince. Like, it could be a bad idea to do something you did, and Raw can still suck, right? Both those things can happen.
Right.
I mean, just saying, like, it doesn't preclude,
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. I thought you were going to argue with me on that. I'm a little disappointed. Yeah. Going through the list here, Mae Young came on late in your WWF run towards the last couple months. She eventually had an affair on screen with Mark Henry, which seemed very Russo-esque, and also gave birth to a hand. Vince, why a hand?
Yeah, it's interesting about this because I was not working there. I get blamed for this all the time. I was already at WCW. I was not there. However, I had what's his name on the show? The guy. Oh man, come on! Why am I drawing a blank? What the writer at the show that I told you I was mean to?
Oh, yeah, the guy they hired to do. I forget his name. Sorry.
Yeah, but anyway, my point is, he was writing when this happened, and he came on my show, and I was like, bro, like, how did this happen? Bro, he said this was 1,000% Vince McMahon.
Yes. And
Vince McMahon thought this was like the funniest thing he had ever seen. He said, bro, this was like 1,000,000% Vince's baby.
So, well, that's probably not the worst thing, but the Austin Pillman thing leads me into Marlena being pregnant. They had a angle with Marlena being pregnant, and who was the father and all that?
I can't remember.
But that was not something that you did.
No, I did that.
And so I believe it was, what about the entire affair with Brian Pillman?
Bro, you want to hear something funny about that, Matt? This is how naive and stupid I was. These guys are in bed together. I mean, literally in bed together, the whole 9 yards. Bro, I didn't know they had a romantic history prior. Yeah. I didn't know that, bro. I had no freaking idea. When I wrote that stuff, I did not know that. I may not have done that had I known that.
And I worked with Terry Runnels. I know Terry Runnels, and I think Terry Runnels is the sweetest, by the way. I think she's great and just a really nice person. The fact that she was estranged from her husband at the time, and that she's in an angle with her ex-boyfriend, or I don't know if she was estranged, but I think they might have been in a strained relationship at the time. She's with an ex-boyfriend, Brian Pillman in these scenes. That seems like something where people go, oh, look at Vince Russo, look at WWE pushing the envelope with this, but you literally had no idea that.
I swear to God, bro, I remember we're into this thing, and then some way, in a roundabout way, she told me they used to date, and I had no freaking idea, bro. And I felt bad about it because that's an awkward situation. Like, that's something, if I knew that, I would have asked her beforehand, like, is this cool with you? Bro, I didn't even think twice about it. I didn't know.
Was Dustin not the kind of person who would come up to you and go, this is bullshit, I don't want to do this?
No, never.
Vince, something I know that we have in common, because we both record these podcasts at weird hours, is you and I both have trouble sleeping at night. How did you sleep last night?
Well, Matt, it's not only the trouble sleeping, it's when we finally, that head hits the pillow, bro, and we're laid out, and now it's time to go nighty-night. How fast do we fall asleep? Matt, it's a new year, 2019. I think people forget something. Everybody in the new year, they want to exercise, they want to diet, but what's the third most important thing? Sleep and getting your rest, bro. And how do you do that, Matt, if you don't have the right mattress?
Absolutely. Sleep's important, and the quality of your sleep affects the quality of your daily life, And if you're struggling to get a good night's sleep, you've got to try a Purple mattress. And the founders of Purple Mattress are two brothers who have been developing cushioning technology for 30 years on things like medical beds and wheelchairs.
Well, Matt, listen, I know you're about to say you don't have to be a rocket scientist to develop a mattress, but you're wrong, Matt Kuhn, because the Purple mattress will probably feel different than anything you've ever experienced because it uses the brand new material that was developed by an actual rocket scientist like me. When I used to write Raw and SmackDown, I was a rocket scientist. It was not like the memory foam that so many people are used to. This is a different animal, Matt.
Yeah, I can't do that memory foam, and everybody's got a mattress. It's something we all need, but how's this one different? Is that the Purple mattress will probably feel different from anything that you've ever experienced. Its material feels very unique because it's firm and soft at the same time, just like you, Vince. So it keeps everything supported while still feeling really comfortable. Plus, it's breathable, so it sleeps cool.
Yeah, this is the one, Matt. It's the beginning of the year for everybody, man. If you're dieting, great. If you're working out, great. But, bro, Stevie Richards taught me when you rest the body, it rejuvenates. That's the most important time. You need a mattress. You got to go to sleep, bro. And Purple mattress is the mattress for you.
And when we're going to advertise and we're going to get a great sponsor like Purple mattress, you're not going to have any risk. There's a 100-night risk-free trial for listeners with Truth with Consequences. If you're not fully satisfied, you can actually return your mattress for a full refund. It's backed by a 10-year warranty and free shipping and returns.
And Matt, the most important thing here, free in-home setup, bro. They will also remove the old mattress. That's a headache to a lot of people, bro. They'll do the work for you.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're going to love Purple. And right now, our listeners will get a free Purple pillow with the purchase of a mattress. And that's in addition to the great gifts they're offering site-wide. Just text, what do we text?
We text BRO, B-R-O, to 474747.
The only way to get the free pillow is to text BRO to 474747. That's BRO to 474747. Message and data rates may apply. Purple mattress. Talent are into it.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was fine.
Here's one I've talked to one of the participants about, and it is one of the worst moments in the WWE history. No one can dispute that. There are reasons, though. The dog kennel from hell match. The dog kennel from hell match, Vince. Tell me about your idea, and then also why it turned out so terrible. Was it just a bad idea? Can we just get there?
No.
Okay. Of course not.
A bad
All right, go ahead.
Not a bad idea. The whole idea was they were supposed to be in the ring. Then there's supposed, I don't remember how it was supposed to set up, but there was supposed to be wild, savage attack dogs circling the ring.
And they're going to be snarling and heading,
snarling, foaming at the mouth, growling, hissing.
We are scared. We are scared for the participants' safety. We are worried for their safety and well-being, right? That's what you want.
No, because we were going to prepare them for that. We were going to prepare them, and they were going to be trained dogs. So whether a silent whistle was blown, whatever the case may be, they were going to be able to be called off, whatever the case may be. But again, bro, I'm always going for the visual.
And what ended up being the visual, Vince?
Oh, well, bro, let before we even got to the visual, bro, these dogs.
They sucked. The dogs sucked.
The dogs came in that day, and I'll never forget it, bro. Here they come, and I meet the first trainer with the dog. Bro, what's the first thing the dog does?
Well, for these dogs, it either humped something or took a shit.
No. The freaking dog licked me.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, bro, like, wait a minute. Like, this dog should not be licking me. And, bro, sure enough, we put the dogs ringside, and they're playing fetch, and they're licking everybody, and
they're having sex.
Away.
They're going to the bathroom. So Al Snow tells this story. It's great when Al tells it, because he says it over and over again. He says, "I was told they would be professionally trained animals, and professionally trained animals,
and so were we." But you know what, bro? Here's the thing. 1,000% my fault, because I had such this visual in my head of the I never thought for a second, Matt, like, what if? You know what I'm saying? I never, ever thought of it. That's why 1,000% my fault, because I wanted them so badly to be attack dogs. You know what I mean? I never thought, like, what if they act like the family pets?
Well, yeah, it was a disaster. And so after that match, like, do you get blamed for it? Does Vince go, "God damn it, what happened?" Or, I mean, what's the fallout?
I don't remember, but it is my responsibility, bro. I mean, it is my fault.
How much of it falls on you, to take things from paper to the screen? For instance, are you completely absolved from responsibility in this case because it didn't, the coordination with the animal trainer wasn't good?
Yeah, bro, I got to tell you, honestly, Matt, I think that is the one and only time at WWE the system failed me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, bro, like I told you, bro, they got us a freaking rocket launcher. So you're getting a rocket launcher. I'm thinking, bro, you got to be able to find trained attack dogs. You know what I'm saying? This was the only freaking time I can remember, the WWE not coming through for me. But even though I should have taken that into consideration, I didn't.
Let's talk about a couple more. We've got a lot. There's no shortage of lists of what people think Vince Russo is responsible for. The human oddities, the oddities in WWE with the dancing, and Golga Earthquake with a knot on his head, and Sable being involved, and the whole, it seems very Russo-esque. Tell me about the oddities.
Not at all, bro.
Really?
That was a Vince McMahon through and through. And I'll never forget, it started with Golga, because Vince thought it was the greatest thing to have a humpback wrestler that couldn't be pinned. But, bro, this is something where I really got smartened up for the first time. Vince putting Sable with the oddities because she was getting too over. And I didn't realize it at the time. I really didn't realize it at the time. It was like, it was all Vince's idea. And I'm like, why are you putting Sable? And when I look back now, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, it was to take her down a few pegs.
You said that a few times about what's going on currently, what you've seen in the
It
past.
happened last week. You saw it happen last week, right?
With
Nia Jax.
You think?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt, bro. No doubt.
It seems a little conspiratorial to me. Like, have you ever did you ever have a conversation with Vince or other people close to Vince where it was known this person's getting too hot, let's cool him down?
No. But they cooled him down.
Let's talk about another polarizing idea. A lot of people at the time thought it was bad. And of people you'd call marks probably still think it was bad. But in retrospect, this is becoming one of the more iconic, and also I think it's being appreciated much more now than it was then. Let's talk a little bit about the artist known as Goldust.
Bro, that sucked. And that was me. And I'll tell you why it was me, bro. Goldust was so hot, and Goldust was so over, and Goldust could have been so huge, had not, WWE with sponsors and this and that and the other thing. Bro, when somebody's that good and when somebody's that hot and when somebody's that over, where the frig do you go? You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, where do you go? No matter what we did, it was going to fail in comparison. And that's all a tribute to Dustin. That's all a tribute to how great he was in that role. Where do you go from there, bro?
There's only one place you can go. With a character like that, you have to shit or get off the pot. Like, it goes to the big title, right? That's all the only place you can go is like you give him the world heavyweight champion and you just really make some waves, or you just cut bait, right?
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is that's where we should have gone. That's where I wanted to go. It was going there without a shadow of a doubt. But then all of a sudden, when you're told you got to put the brakes on this and we can't do it anymore, bro, my first concern is Dustin, bro, because this isn't his fault. This has nothing to do with his performance, his attitude, or anything. And now I've got to try to come up with something that it was never going to be equally as good ever in a million years. And he set the bar so high that there was nothing I could have came up with that would have saved him. Nothing.
But going with the artist known as Goldust, formerly known as Goldust, like where he had the ball in his mouth and he's wearing S&M gear, that was a miss, right? It's not just where do you go with this, it's that this was not where to go with this.
No, it wasn't. And I still don't know where we could have went with that. I still have no idea how we could have saved that character because it was so hot.
Can I give you the Vince Russo booking idea is to go to reality, but to say that I am Dustin, I am son of Dusty. I went 1,000% with this because I believed in it. It was pulled out. So I'm just going to, I'm going to be me, but I'm going to have an edge because I know I could have been in a better place, but WWE didn't get behind me because I'm Dusty's son, blah, blah, blah. That could have been something, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Could have been.
That's some Russo booking. Just from knowing you.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
That brings us to something we've all heard about, which is the Fire Russo chants. And we heard them during a infamous TNA match that you have to give a miss to, that everybody says was yours. That is the electrified steel cage match. Please tell us about that if you want to.
Bro, the electrified cage was not my freaking idea. And let me give you a little, and bro, listen, anybody can look back and you can see that match had been done in Mexico. So like to really see where the idea came from is not difficult. But Matt, I remember I had left TNA and I came back. And the first meeting I was with creatively, me, Jeff, Dutch, and Matt Conway, they had already booked this electrified cage match. And I walk into my first meeting and I'm hearing about this. And here's the problem, Matt. Bro, I got to be honest with you. If this were done in the WWE, they could have probably pulled it off. But when these guys were talking about it, Jeff and Dutch, and I know the capabilities of TNA. I'm saying to myself, because I don't want to say anything, bro. It's my first meeting back. I want to fall in line. I don't want to cause waves. But I'm saying to myself, there's no way TNA has the resources to pull this off. There's no way they're going to be able to do this. I didn't say anything, bro. It was my first day back. And then, bro, that was the thing. This was my first pay-per-view back, and they do this electrified cage. It's freaking horrible. Everybody in the arena chanting, "Fire Russo." And I'm like, bro, if it were my idea, I would say it was my idea. Bro, this would have been my idea in the WWE, like the Inferno match. Okay, bro, you know they're going to pull that off. You know they're going to pull it off. An electrified cage in TNA, bro, it didn't have a chance.
And, WCW even did a version way before you got there where there was an electric chair. Are you aware of the electric chair cage match?
No.
Yeah, it was great because they had one of these old school electric chair on-off switches, right? And you could see it, but it kept falling to the on position during the match.
Oh, God.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
So what, British Bulldog, there was a point in time with dogs involved where he was bumping and dog shit.
Bro, that was right after we left, like the next week. The next week, Vince McMahon had the Bulldog bumping in dog shit. And from what I understand, he thought it was absolutely the greatest thing he ever saw.
But it's not yours.
No, I had left by then.
There's a great, well, maybe not great, but there's a very memorable segment in WWE history. Of course, we know there's a long tradition of humiliating JR on screen. And one of those things was a doctor's appointment, a doctor, and they just showed shadows, and it showed many objects being pulled out of JR's ass as a rib, as a joke. That is not you, right?
No, I actually watched that on TV. Like I actually remember watching that for some reason. I was working for WCW at the time, and I watched that on TV, and no, that was not my idea.
So let's get to some of the more.
Hey, bro, can I ask you a question? You know that whole kiss my ass club gimmick?
Yeah, go ahead, ask me, because I have questions to ask you about it. But go ahead.
How did that work? Like, did you actually how did that work without seeing Vince's ass? What did they mosaic it out? Like, how did that work?
No, he wore like freaking a thong.
Oh, okay.
And
he actually wore a thong.
He pulls it up tight, just pulls it up tight, so that it's just ass. It's just,
and they got away with that. They got that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They I think it was.
How many guys you think like kissed his ass?
That's a good question.
Did a girl ever kiss his ass?
I don't think so. I think they faked it like it would happen, but then I think it ended up being somebody else. And then, of course, in true Vince McMahon fashion, Vince McMahon has eaten some people's ass as well, out of the ring, or in the ring, of course, which is like Rikishi and Big Show, and but at the same time, would you have ever agreed to be in the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club?
Never. I swear to God, bro, they can call me tomorrow and say, Vince, we'll give you $5 million to kiss Vince McMahon's ass next Monday night. I'd say thanks, but no thanks.
Tank Abbott. Tank Abbott is another one of these things that a lot of people say, as the story goes, when you presented Tank Abbott as your world champion in WCW, that's going to be your next world champion. That was the way that they coalesced resistance against you and got rid of Vince Russo. Is there any truth to that at all?
Yeah, no, there's absolute truth to that, bro, because at the last minute, Brett got hurt, Jeff got hurt. We had a pay-per-view coming up like in 2 days. We had to totally rewrite the pay-per-view. And basically what suggested, and it made all the sense in the world, was we have this big battle royal, whatever it is, that was going to determine the champion. Freaking Sid was the first guy out. Okay, bro? So we have this battle royal. We go all the way to the end, all the way to the end, all the way to the end. freaking Sid is the last one in the ring. Like he's through all this, he's dead. He's been in there. He's wasted. He's blown up. He's exhausted. And here comes the last guy, a fresh as a daisy UFC fighter, Tank Abbott. Now, under those circumstances, it would have been totally, totally believable for a UFC fighter to freaking knock out, throw out of the ring, do whatever he was going to do to a guy that had been in a match for well over, 30, 45 minutes or whatever it was going to be. That was the story.
Well, we're going to make a show out of it one day, and probably a day soon, but who was it that got, now, did it a bunch of people then got together and said, you see, look at Vince's idea.
Absolutely.
You see? Who was that?
Yeah.
Who got together?
I don't know, and I don't care. I mean, but who cares? I could care less. I mean, again, obviously, bro, logically, it made all the sense in the world. It could have really, really happened, but that's not the way it was presented. And they were presenting it to somebody, Bill Bush, who knew absolutely nothing about wrestling. He knew absolutely. So if these people were saying, oh, my God, he can't put the belt on Tank Abbott, well, then he can't put the belt on Tank Abbott because they're saying so. The way we would have done it would have been 100% logical. And that was the whole idea, bro. Let's do this. Okay. Let's see what the reaction is. And now, once we've had time to think, let's see where this thing goes. We didn't have time to think. I mean, all this shit was dropped on me like a day before or 2 days before the pay-per-view, when this shit had to be totally rewritten. So I'm like, let's go with this scenario. This scenario makes sense. This scenario would work. And let's see where the chips fall. Bro, everybody that I discussed it with, Terry Taylor, everybody creatively was on board. Yeah, good idea. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. And then the next day, Vince, you can't. I'll never forget Bill Bush saying to me, this is exactly what happened. You can't put the belt on Tank Abbott. And I looked him right in the eye and I said, why not? He had no answer. He couldn't tell me why he couldn't put the belt on Tank Abbott.
Well, if you guys are fans of Why It Ended with Robbie E. or Robert Strauss, I'm going to be interviewing somebody this week for a future show that I believe was involved in that. And so we're going to see maybe who, in fact, was the taskmaster involved in all of that. And don't think I won't ask. Vince, San Francisco's 49ers match. You said that the Feast or Famine thing started in WCW. You're right. It was in the San Francisco 49ers match. Of course, you're a big 49ers fan. To remind you a little bit, it is Booker T and Jeff Jarrett facing off with 4 boxes that were hung around the ring. All you had to do is open up the box that had the title in it. There was also a box with a picture of Scott Hall. There was a box with a blow up doll, and there was a box with a loaded glove and a box with the title. This is bad, right?
No. I'll tell you what's bad about it, Matt. You want to know what I remember from this?
I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
Oh God.
The title falling out of the box?
Here's what I remember. When I was at WWE, whatever they needed to do, Kevin Dunn, Richie Curtis, whatever, buried alive matches, inferno matches, rocket launches. We're going to fill up a Corvette with cement. We're going to drive a beer truck, whatever we needed them to do, done to perfection.
And this was a different culture in WCW.
Yeah, I go to WCW and the first thing I see is they can't freaking connect a box to a pole. The freaking boxes are falling off the freaking poles. And I remember seeing this and I'm like, but see, here's what people don't understand.
It was like the Keystone Cops, like trying
to. But see, bro, here's what people don't understand, Matt. That affects your writing. So when they can't do something that simple, Now you can't think out of the box. You can't think about magnificent things because you're going back to, bro, they couldn't freaking connect a box on a pole. There's no way they're going to be able to do this. That again, that's like getting back to the electrified cage in TNA. Like, you know what they're capable of doing and what they're not capable of doing.
Bad idea. This is a bad idea. I'm going to just stand by it, and you've apologized for it, but let's just get this out of the way so we'll never have to talk about it again. Oklahoma. Bad idea?
Oh, bad idea. 1,000%.
Right.
Bad.
Would it have been a bad idea even if he didn't do the Bell's palsy impression?
Bro, people got to understand. Matt, can I tell you a story? And I'm not kidding you.
For sure. Let's hear.
Matt, here's where we weren't thinking. You know the impression that Ed Ferrara was doing?
Right, sure.
Vince McMahon used to do that. So, like, to me and Ed, we were kind of ribbing Vince McMahon, not even thinking about what we would do in a JR, which is shoot me for that. But can I tell you something, Matt? This is a true story.
Sure.
Okay. I got to get some papers to show you something, Matt. This is a true story. I'm not kidding you. And this is why we did something like that. Matt, we're in a production meeting. I think JR may have just had his second bout with Bell's palsy. Okay. I'm sitting with Vince McMahon in front of everybody. You know, we're at the front table. Everybody's, you know, and JR's in the front row. Okay. And JR asked Vince McMahon a question. Bro, I swear to God, Matt, the front row's got to be 20 feet from where me and Vince are sitting. I'm not kidding you. Okay. So JR had a second bout with Bell's palsy, and me and Vince are sitting there. JR asked a question. Vince says to JR, "Wait, JR, I don't know the answer to that. Let me talk to Vince. Let me ask Vince." Okay, bro. JR sitting 20 feet from us. I'm sitting next to Vince. Bro, Vince, I hope people are watching this. He takes the papers like this and shields JR. Okay, bro. So he's shielding JR and he's having a sidebar with me. I lean in to see what he wants to talk about. Bro, he starts doing this to me. I swear to God. You ready? In the middle of a production meeting, JR's 20 feet. Matt, I swear to you, I looked at him and I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, I didn't know what else to say. I said, bro, like, what is wrong with you? And bro, how as stupid as we were, that was a rib on Vince because he used to do it all the time. So we were ribbing Vince, not thinking, guys, look what you freaking two assholes are doing to JR.
For sure, because what you're saying is you're mortified for those who aren't watching. And if you want to watch the show, all I have to do is get on our patreon.com/RussoCoonTWC. But for those who aren't watching, you were mortified at the fact that Vince McMahon was mocking his belt.
Mortified. But bro,
yet,
he's sitting 20 feet from us.
He had the courtesy to put a paper up, but you guys did it on television for everybody to watch.
Yes. And that's no excuse. I mean, absolutely zero excuse. Bro, I've apologized to JR 30 times out the yin yang. He has accepted the apology. I mean, it's over. It's done with. You know, like I said, bro, I was trying to heavily talk him into coming to TNA. I've done his show a couple of times. So, I mean, I've apologized out the ass, but bro, there's no excuse for that. Shameful, embarrassing. If there was one thing I could take back, because that wasn't a bad angle. That was bad taste.
And I hope JR knows that he might be an inspiration to people without knowing it. I had a student whose dad came in and all of a sudden his dad's face, half of it isn't working. And just because I know who JR is, I go, Bell's palsy? And he goes, yeah. And I start talking about JR. And I said, there's this wrestling announcer who it kind of stalled his career a little bit, but then he had some of the best years of his life as an announcer with this thing, and it can go away, and I don't think he heard of anybody who had it before. So he actually, Googled Jim Ross, and I think he was a source of inspiration. So I think Jim Ross going very publicly with the Bell's palsy actually helped a lot of people.
Matt, you want to hear an interesting story? Bro, you know how I get emotional, and I have no problem saying when I get emotional. Okay.
Sure.
And I get emotional over emotional things, not somebody's freaking bullying me. I get emotional over emotional things. Matt, this was one of the most difficult times for me in wrestling. I'll never forget this. JR had suffered Bell palsy the second bout with it, right? Matt, he was campaigning to go back on the air, and he was still in really bad shape. As a wrestling fan, first and foremost, like, I was trying to protect JR because I was like, I'm saying to myself, bro, nobody wants to see you like this. They don't want to see you like this. They think of JR a certain way. And bro, it's not, you got to understand, it's not like he was getting better, and he was going to get better, but he wasn't there yet. Right? So he wanted to go back on the air, and the Bell's palsy was still heavy. And I'm sitting there, I'm saying, bro, don't let people see you that way. They don't want to see you that way. They don't want to see you that way. So, bro, he brings it up in a meeting, a production meeting.
Oh, my.
And they make the decision, and they say yes.
Okay.
So, bro, because of me and how I am, I'm like, I can't, in my good conscience, I can't not say anything. I've got to say something.
What's your reservation? He can still do the job. What's your reservation? Just the way he looked?
Just the way he looked.
But looking back, what I was trying to do, Matt, really was I was trying to protect him from himself, because I don't think, bro, fans of JR would want to see him like that. Okay, so what did you do?
And like I said, Matt, you got to understand something. He's getting better. It's not like he's going to be this way forever, so he's never going to be on TV again. He's getting better, but he's still not there yet where he's looking good.
You didn't feel the time was right yet.
Yes. Yeah, that's all, So, bro, I'll never forget, after the meeting, I wait till everybody clears out, and it's just JR and Kevin Dunn. It's just the two of them. Bro, I broke down. I got emotional, and I says, JR, I just got to say this. I don't think your fans want to see you this way, bro. I think you should give it a little bit more time. You're getting more better every week. I said, I think you should just give it a little bit more time. I just don't think your fans would want to see you this way. Bro, I got emotional. I'm all choked up. It's very difficult for me to do. But, bro, even giving that very heartfelt plea, he went on air that night.
And do you think that was a mistake?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think, to me, bro, with the hat and the history, I think JR, to me, and maybe I was looking at it selfishly as a fan, he was such a strong personality. You could trust JR. JR's telling you the truth. He's from Oklahoma. He's not bullshitting you. He's a straight man. You know that? To me, I don't think as a fan I ever wanted to be in a position to feel sympathy for JR. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't think JR was that. Bro, JR's idol. Let me put it to you this way. You know who JR's idol is, bro?
John Wayne.
John Wayne. That's his idol. And bro, in a lot of ways, he emulates John Wayne.
JR is fucking John Wayne in a lot of ways.
Yes. And that was my point. That was my point. You're John Wayne. I don't think people ever felt sorry for John Wayne. And that says a lot, bro, about you and your personality and what you've built over the years. And I think that's where I was coming from as a fan.
There's this thing called projection where, you feel a certain way, but you're not in touch with how you feel. So you say other people feel that way. And it's a way to really get into people's heads sometimes. Is it possible that the reason you were so emotional and the reason you were so upset was because how much it hurt you to see Jim Ross look like that?
1,000,000%. Absolutely, Matt. Absolutely. Yes.
Because you cared so much for him.
Yes. And at the end of the day, I know I was trying to protect him. I mean, that's what it was, bro. I was trying to protect him. Absolutely. That's what I was trying to do.
So let's move on a little bit. Mark Henry, Sexual Chocolate, being involved with a transvestite. And of course, you wouldn't do that because, you don't want to say, and man, I tell you, man, I know so many kids now who are going through this. And I know some people are opposed to it or whatever. I just know the kids I work with. And I know so many people do have these identity issues and that it's not something that we want to, say, oh, Mark Henry's with a guy, he thought it was a girl, so he should beat her up or whatever, like it used to be. But was this your idea at the time with the transvestite?
Did he wind up beating up the person?
No, not at all. I'm just saying that is kind of always been the thing where it's like, I found out that girl was a guy, so rawr.
Yeah. No, bro, 100% my idea, 100%. And again, bro, to me, this is nothing but a comedy spot. That's all it is, bro. It's a comedy spot. It's for the pop.
Interesting. Something I see listed is circling back to Goldust is 7 and, the fact that he was in the window. But I think on a bonus show, you told me that was Dusty. That was not you.
That was, and I don't think that was a bad idea at all. 7 was Dusty's baby. Like that 7 existed before I went to WCW. And then what happened was they did a vignette where like a little kid or something was involved. And he's creeping
on a little kid in a window.
Yeah, and Standards and Practices felt that it was too much, and they killed the character, not me.
And then he turned into Black Rain.
That was TNA.
So was that you?
Bro, that stuff was entertaining. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't know how many people saw Black Rain at TNA, but he had a pet rat. It was entertaining, man. It was good stuff.
Keebler and David Flair's marriage, the whole thing with Ric Flair, maybe being the father of her baby, all that stuff. Good, bad?
I never got to play it out.
How would it have played out?
Ric Flair was the father of Stacy Keibler's baby. That's how it played out.
and again, David Flair and Keibler were a real life couple, right?
Yeah. Bro, I think he really, when that broke up, that devastated him, man. That was bad news.
You had no reservations about using, I don't know if David and Rick were super close, but like, using them in this kind of angle with David's real life girlfriend or anything like that. No reservations.
Nah, I mean, bro, I'm looking at it as a television show. I mean, that's really how I'm looking at it, bro. I'm just looking at it as a TV show.
MIA, we talked about that earlier. Terrible. I'm sorry, but for me, it just never worked for me. All the different names, Lieutenant Loco, Huge Erection, Chavo, I forget his name, Lieutenant Loco. No, he wasn't. And then there was what was the Lash LaRue was somebody. Was that yours, MIA?
Yeah, no, that was mine. And bro, I'll tell you why I don't think that was a bad idea. I don't think that was a bad idea because it got a bunch of guys on TV, bro. It got a bunch of guys that would not have been on TV. They would have been sitting at home. I don't know what their money situation was. I don't know if they didn't get paid, if they weren't on. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it was a way to utilize a really bunch of good guys. That was what was behind it. A bunch of good guys I was trying to find a spot for on television, and the only way to do that was to figure out something that they could all do together.
Huge erection, though. Is that one you'd want back, or you'd look at that and you're like, that's fantastic?
No, I don't look at it. I wouldn't want it back, but I don't look at it as, that's, brain surgery either. I mean, yeah, do I think it's funny? Yes, I think it's funny, but I mean, I wouldn't want it back.
Well, I think we have covered enough, man. I can't even tell you how many topics we covered. We covered at least 25 topics. It's interesting, when I went to a website on Vince Russo's worst ideas, I just Googled it. Half the ideas were not really yours. And that ties into a couple things for you. One thing is, you feel people look to discredit you by not giving you credit for the good things. And they also overly criticize you for attributing every idea they didn't like to you, right?
Yeah, man, see, can I get one thing straight? Honestly, I don't give a shit. Credit's not important to me. I don't give a shit about credit, about what idea was mine and what idea. I don't give a shit about that. The issue is, don't belittle what I did. Like, don't freaking belittle. I was the head writer of the show. I'm going to say this without batting an eyelash. I worked harder than any writer, producer before or after me. Period. End of story. Okay, whether you liked my ideas or didn't, nobody out freaking worked me. So I don't give a shit about credit. Credit isn't important to me, but don't try to freaking discredit me when I worked my freaking ass off, bro. And as a wrestling fan, I was trying to give the business a different look, things people had never seen before, rather than just repeating the same stuff over and over and over again.
What is the one idea that it's been attributed to the most that isn't your idea? Is it the Katie Vick, or is it the hand? What is the one that people say and you just laugh at and you go, my God, this is not me?
Probably the hand thing, bro, because it's so bad. Like, I don't even know. I still don't even know what it meant. I don't understand it. So, like, to be accused of something like that, not only would you have never written, but like, you don't even understand. I mean, that's one that's like, guys, I don't even know what that meant.
No one does, dude. You're a great company. It's a hand. I think, though, there's another one that people think that you are the one responsible for Judy Bagwell being in WCW. I think that's another one that's pretty well out there. Now, what about this? What is something that was your idea that was a good idea that people don't attribute to you?
So, well, bro, I'll be honest with you. I don't think they attribute anything to me. So, to me, the best idea, and I've talked about it a million times, was Survivor Series 98, because, bro, that was all in the craft of the writing. That was literally writing in this capacity, in this forum, at its absolute best, in my opinion.
So that brings us to a close. We'd love, with this subject, we'd love your feedback on Twitter at RussoCoon TWC, Facebook at RussoCoon TWC, Instagram at RussoCoon TWC. Make sure to pick up one of our shirts. There was recently another Russo's Club shirt sighting. This was at a Raw. So thank you for representing us out there, everybody. And Vince, this brings us to the outrage of the week. What is your outrage of the week, Vince Russo?
It's just ridiculous to me that somebody sent in a Brian Alvarez clip, and the following week in the Champagne Canyon angle, the following week, a candy glass beer bottle, champagne bottle was used again. And freaking Brian Alvarez said, now that was a fake bottle. Now that he is still sticking to a real bottle was used. Brian, like, all you have to say, I swear to God, bro, how difficult is it to say, you know what, bro? It was pretty silly for me to think that that was a real champagne bottle. Obviously, the evidence shows it was clear. Like, how can you to this point, bro, not just say, you know what, bro? I made a mistake. I accused the guy of something that wasn't true. I'm sorry. I mean, my God, bro, is it that difficult for you? I mean, seriously.
At this point, you think that Brian knows that he was wrong and just won't admit it? Is that,
bro? This guy has killed his own credibility. If he thinks anybody is looking at him as credible with the personal vendetta about over me, and just every week the things that he's reaching for, and then when I blatantly, in a nice way, prove him wrong, and he still can. I mean, bro, the guy's killed his own credibility.
And anything else getting your ire this week? Because that sounds like...
Yeah, can I tell you what's in my ire?
Yes, please do.
This A&W group, guys, I want you to succeed. I'd be an idiot to not want you to succeed. More people that are into wrestling is going to be more customers for me. More, as importantly, more guys and gals are going to be employed in wrestling. Very, very important. There's no reason in the world for me to want you to fail, but please stop with we're going to change the game or the game has changed. Bro, the game has been the same way for the last 50 years. And I'll be honest with you, bro, the game has changed 2 times. Here's the 2 times the game has changed. When Vince McMahon Jr. took over the company and turned it into a circus, and then the Attitude Era that made that circus real. Okay, those were the 2 times that the business changed. The NWO, but that goes hand in hand with the Attitude Era. That changed the game. Guys, don't say you're going to change the game if you're not going to change the game, because Dixie Carter used to do that all the time. Dixie Carter used to have these huge announcements that she was going to make. Every announcement was a fart in church, and then she lost all credibility. There are very few things today that can actually change the game. And unless you're willing to do those things, bro, you're going to be another wrestling company, and that's okay. If you could find your niche and you can make money off of your base, that's okay. But guys, don't say you're going to change the game if you're not going to change the game.
But what if you don't feel the game can be changed?
The game can be changed,
but you don't feel
they're
like
not going to change
by what their emphasis is going to be, right? In-ring product, right. The personalities they have,
right?
But is it possible that this is just some kind of the times have passed you by a little bit, where you might not just get it with these guys, but they have an upswell, they have a groundswell of support, they have some momentum, and they have shown a lot of outside the box creativity. I'm not so sure that they can't change the game.
What's the outside the box creativity?
The YouTube show. The fact that everybody knew what their angles were. Everybody knew, like, people pop for the penises walking out because they knew the angle. People pop for Joey Ryan coming out because they knew the angle. You know, people were into a lot of the stuff going on with the Elite because of the YouTube show, which pushes real life angles in a way I think you would appreciate. You know, they're making an angle out of Kenny Omega. Like that's an angle on the Elite show where at the, you see Kenny's phone in Kenny's hand. And at the end of the show, the last shot is Kenny's phone in the grass. Whereas like, is he going to sign with them or not? This is some pretty outside the box stuff that you might not be aware of.
I'm not aware of it. I'm not aware of any of it. But all I know is this. You're called All Elite Wrestling. That's all I know, bro. You're another wrestling group. You're another wrestling organization. That's all I know. And I'm a casual fan, bro. And you got to understand, Matt, casual fans now that they have to get, bro, they're not going to look for that shit on the internet. That's why I haven't seen that stuff on the internet. I'm not looking for that. I'm a television guy. Most casual fans are television people, bro. You're going to have to show us something different that proves you're not just another wrestling company.
So here's a couple factors with that. Is that are you aware that their merch was like the best-selling merch in all of Hot Topic? Not just Pro Wrestling Tees. Hot Topic, the store that all the edgy kids go to for their earring gauges and their Stranger Things shirts. The biggest sellers were Cody and the Bucks. You know, I mean, they do have a casual fan base that they're drawing in.
But no, Matt, I disagree with you because how do you know they're casual fans? There are a lot of hardcore marks out there, bro. And those hardcore marks could be the ones going to Hot Topic and buying those shirts. You don't know that. I'm not walking into Hot Topics tomorrow and buying a Young Bucks shirt, bro. And I know a hell of a lot of people that aren't either. So again, Matt, it's like, bro, if you show me that you can go beyond that audience. You're going to have to show me that, bro.
Can I tell you another factor you might not be aware of? When I go to NXT takeover shows, and as you say, it's a lot of people saying this is awesome and fight forever. And there was times Matthew and I would joke that he was the only kid in the building. You know, these elite guys, they draw a young crowd, not just kids, more kids than I've seen at any WWF event when I went to All In, but also 19-year-old, 20-year-olds, people that, with the tattoos and they're not, wrestling fans. I think they're elite fans. I think these guys have brought in a certain cool factor that I think you might actually appreciate.
Matt, listen, I saw a lot of footage from All In. I did not see that, bro. And I'm not doubting you, but I'm telling you from all the footage I've seen at All In at the convention and in the arena, I did not see that. Now, I'm sure they were there, but obviously, if I'm not seeing that, there's not a lot of people representing 19, 20-year-olds.
The last point I want to make is that with the YouTube show that you said you're not aware of, the reason it's taken off is it's not necessarily the in-ring product. It's the characterizations of these people. You might not know, of Marty Scurll, being a guy who likes karaoke, of Hangman Page being a murderer. That's one of the angles of, always having this running joke about Nick's back injury and all these different things. These people have bought into these guys as characters, not just as wrestlers. And I think they might get it on a different level than you might realize.
Matt, they're going to have to sell me.
All
and
right.
they have. And they haven't.
Okay. Well,
I'm open to it. I'm wide open to it.
And let's be clear. Let's save all our tweets. We know kind of the storm that happened last time with StarCast and everything. We know they're having this event and StarCast 2. And I'd like to just tell everybody, just let's ease up on all the talk, the Russo and StarCast talk and everything, because at the core of it, you are rooting for these guys 100%, right? You want them to be successful.
Rooting for him 100%. And guys, can I tell you something? Guys, I don't want to go to StarCast. I don't want to leave my house. Okay, bro, I'm very comfortable where I am. I'm very comfortable in my man cave. Please, bro, don't put me in a position. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. You literally, bro, if you're supporting me, you're not supporting me by promoting that. I don't want to go, bro. I honestly don't want to go. I wish them all the luck in the world, bro. Like I said, bro, you right off the bat, All Elite Wrestling. Okay, bro, you're another wrestling company. Right there, I would have made a different change. Right there, bro. Just by using the word wrestling, people may not try you out. Just by using that word, they got a really bad taste in their mouths the last 20 years. Why do they think this wrestling promotion is going to be different? That's my point. But guys, with me going to StarCast, please, like seriously, I don't want to be invited. Like, I don't want to go. I'm really not interested. So please, bro, please.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, it's not like we're not friendly with the StarCast people, or I'm not going to be there because it's something that I'm invested in. I love the StarCast experience, and it's not like we don't have good feelings about what they're doing. You wish them all the luck in the world. It's just not your thing, and it's not something you're going to do, and it's not something we want to hear about or read about on Twitter or anything like that, right?
Bro, this guy's begging me, Matt, to go to Australia. And he's a good dude, bro. I've consulted for the guy. He's a good dude. Bro, Australia has been on my bucket list, and I'm just like sitting here and I'm saying, oh my God, bro, can you imagine getting on a plane and flying to freaking Australia? Bro, if I don't want to go to Australia, trust me, I don't want to go to StarCast.
And it has nothing to do with anybody running it or anybody's going to be there. It's just you're comfortable with where you are right now. You're not really looking to do things like that.
I'm not.
Okay, well, this has been a great episode of Truth with Consequences. It sounds like, compared to the last couple of weeks, that you're in a better place as far as where the critiques are, where we talked about Pritchard one week and we talked about Alvarez last week. It sounds like the Alvarez Champagne incident is winding down. So it sounds like you've had a pretty good week, Vince Russo.
Well, I had to do 2 castrating the marks last night back to back, bro. And I had to hear about dragon screwdrivers. So, I mean, that was a little trying, Matt, to be honest with you, bro, to hear the Wrestle Kingdom? Wrestle Kingdom.
It was fantastic.
To hear the Wrestle Kingdom talk for about 3 hours was a little much, but I'm okay.
Someone said it was funny because sometimes your brand members can be funny. And somebody said, because I woke up early to watch it with Matthew, and I enjoyed it myself. And someone said, I hereby submit Matt Coon's entire Twitter tweets this morning to Castrating the Marks.
Very nice.
All right, guys. So we had another great show this week. We're going to see you next week on Truth with Consequences. Make sure to check out our Patreon. Make sure to support us online. Tell everybody about us. When you subscribe on iTunes or any other platform, give us a 5-star review. And Vince, another great show.
Another great show. And also for our Patreons out there, hey, Matt, if we missed something, guys, write in. If we missed something, it was a long, long career. Write in. I'll be happy to talk about it. I'm open to the respectful criticism. I'm always open to respectful criticism. When you start off by calling me an idiot, we're going to have issues. And also, guys, please try out russosbrand.com. 10 shows a week on the Realm Network. Big Vito, Stevie Richards, Bin Hameen, Goldilocks, The Disco Inferno, Castrating the Marks, less than $1 a week.